This is a short video showing how to post the repayment of an Interfund advance in the UAN software. This is not a source for how to initiate an Interfund advance. If you need more information about initiating an Interfund advance, I recommend you go to our website at uanlink.ohioauditor.gov, select Training, then Transition, scroll down to the Phase 2 UAN Prerequisite Training area. The book in the video associated with 103, Chapter 3 has a section regarding Interfund advances. Basically, an advance is a temporary loan of cash between funds permitted by law to participate. You can't just pick and choose as you want. They must be repaid within 12 months, and it affects the resources available if repaid the following year. Let me take you to the UAN software and show you how to repay an Interfund advance. I'm showing you my certificate of the total amount from all sources available for expenditures and balances from the beginning of this year, 2018. It shows me the certification I made to the county auditor to get my first amended certificate. In the column Advances Not Repaid, when an advance is made in one year and carried over unpaid to the next year, the software is automatically going to show that the capital project fund is required to repay the advance to the general fund, as you see on the screen. It affects my resources available in both of these funds. If your initial advance and the advance repayment happen in the same year, it has absolutely no effect on your resources available, only the cash balance of each fund. Let's close out of this report and let's go to Accounting, Transactions, Interfund Advance. The first problem I run into is where we get a lot of calls. I don't have the structure in place to post the Interfund Advance repayment. So I have to add the Appropriation Account Advances Out and the Revenue Code Advances In the funds as required. Now, an Interfund advance is not budgeted, yet I have to use these account codes in order for the software to place these items in the proper place on the annual financial report. They're using the revenue and appropriation accounts, but that does not mean they use a budget. So let's close out of here and we'll go to Accounting, Maintenance, and Appropriation Accounts. On the Appropriation Accounts form, the software is showing us our active accounts. And I want to scroll down to my 4901 fund. And I don't have any appropriation accounts active for the 4901 Advances Out. I'm going to add it. I select my fund. I select my program. And I select the object code and click Save. Now my account is active. I can advance out of the capital project fund. On my revenue accounts, I need an advance in the general fund. It is already active. If it wasn't, I would click the Add button and add it. Now I can go back to Accounting, Transactions, and Interfund Advance. On the Post-Interfund Advance form, there are 3 advance types. The initial advance is the first. It's only used when the initial advance is made. The second is repayment advance, used to repay an advance when the initial advance was posted in the UAN software. That's the selection I'm going to make. The last selection is repayment of advance not posted in the system. I don't even know if this setting has ever been used. It's only going to be used when the initial advance was made before a UAN user converted to the UAN software. Then the repayment takes place after the conversion. There aren't very many clients who fit into this scenario. So when you make the initial advance from the UAN software, you repay it using Repayment of Advance. Notice I can select my initial advance from the drop-down list. The amount I'm repaying is going to depend on what we're doing at this time. Sometimes advances are repaid in small increments until it's paid in full. In our case, the grant paid us back the entire $44,000, and I can post that as a full advance repayment. My post date is going to be important. At the board meeting today, my board adopted the necessary legislation to authorize the repayment of the advance, so I'm going to choose today's date. You can also put in your resolution or ordinance number, whatever was adopted by your entity, and the approval date at the meeting. Again, mine is today. Type a reason in the box, put in something meaningful, especially if it's being paid back in increments. And now the software is already showing me the two funds that are participating. I select the appropriation account code from the capital project fund and the advances in code from the general fund. I click post. In the bottom left corner, I get the confirmation that it posted, and close. Yes, I want to print the advance report and put that in my file for audit. Now when I look at the advance report, accounting reports and statements, Interfund advance reports, I'm going to choose the detail and select the option. Notice that the repayment is showing in the current year. And there's my reason, full repayment of advance. The status is open. Well, the status of all repayments is going to be open. What I need to know is the status of my initial advance. I would have to look in the prior year. Now the status shows repaid in full. So when the repayment is made in the next year, you have to go back to the prior year, select the report for the initial advance, and you can see that the status is now repaid in full, has a remaining balance of 0, and I would print this for my files for audit. I hope the information in this video was helpful. If you need assistance with the steps shown in this video, contact UAN support using the information provided on the screen. All UAN Housekeeping Series videos qualify for House Bill 10 training. If you have any questions about self-reporting your training hours, please call or email your question using the contact information you see on the screen now. This video is not long enough to self-report by itself. If you have only watched this video, you cannot self-report the time. However, if you watch more videos in the housekeeping series and their combined time is at least 30 minutes, you can self-report the combined time.